Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, marks and smarks alike, we proudly welcome you to the internet's only wrestling podcast. That's right, we are the only one. We want to welcome you to Pin the Champ! All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Pin the Champ. How you guys doing today?
Feeling sexy
as hell.
Yeah. Are you saying that Kyle is sexy as hell, or are you saying you also are feeling sexy?
I'm saying Kyle has no sleeves today. He's looking sexy as hell.
This is true, and he's got disheveled hair. It's bedhead.
That's right. I'm not your sexy boy. I'm
not
sure.
My sexy boy.
Boy toy.
You're doing. That was your best. That was your best.
My
Captain
Shatner.
Kirk. That was your Shatner.
Yeah, that was my Shatner.
So, not 1 week after we're all hanging out together, not one episode, rather, after we're all hanging out together, wouldn't you know it, fucking cases are going back up. People are walking into places people are working, causing us to have to repurchase Zoom and do this meeting.
Well, there's been some report already that WWE is looking like maybe SummerSlam might not happen at this point.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
So they're worried that states are going to start tightening the restrictions down again.
If everybody gets their vaccine, I will start watching modern wrestling again.
Today, guys, we're going to chat about the current pro wrestling that we've been watching this last couple of weeks. A lot of shit been going on. We're going to talk a bit of news because there's a lot of news definitely going on right now. Been an exciting couple of weeks, pro wrestling for sure. Big couple of weeks. And then, of course, as usual, we're going to dig into the Monday Night Raw from back in the day. This particular day will be March 22nd, 1993. And then this week, we have a listener question from our buddy and listener, Kevin Pierpont. Thank you for writing into us. We really appreciate the interaction. Keep them coming. And anybody else who happens to be listening, please keep them coming too. Guys, this is the Go Home Raw before Mania 9.
We're on the last stretch of the road to WrestleMania
9. Yep.
The best WrestleMania ever.
Of course, as me and Gene said. Remember, you can go check out this episode before or after this podcast with a subscription to Peacock here in the States and on the WWE Network.
Yes.
Kyle, where can you listen to us, man?
The fine listeners of Pin the Champ can listen to us on Apple, so Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music /Audible, Pandora, or they can flick their Podbean or go to YouTube.
So what's up with you guys this week? What wrestling have you guys been watching?
I watched old New Japan. As you gentlemen know, I'm still fighting the Peacock battle. I refuse to give in to NBC, Time Warner's takeover of everything, and so I'm going to hold off as long as I can.
But it's such a value at $4.99.
$4.99. That's true. It is a value at $4.99. So I've been watching.
What New Japan have you been watching?
I think I'm lying when I say it's New Japan. It's the death matches. So I think it's
just all the old death matches with Terry Funk and all that.
No, specific FMW. That's what it was. All the barbed wire stuff. It's gross, but it's kind of cool. It's never been my thing, so it's kind of very, I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it, but there's a lot of it online. There's a lot of free of it online.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things. Like, even if it's like a car wreck, right? I mean, in the most traditional sense, it's like one of those things. It's the whole car wreck syndrome. You can't look away. It's like, even if you don't really, it's not your cup of tea or whatever, goddamn, if you find it on YouTube and you start watching it, there's no way you're going to stop watching it until something explodes or somebody gets cut open, probably.
I hate death matches. I think it's garbage.
I remember you texted us the other day.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, I like what most of the stuff AEW been doing, but these matches that it seems like they have a death match in every single episode now.
AEW?
Yeah, they had one with what was Dean Ambrose and the Murder Hawk. Yeah, they had barbed wire tables and then the Jericho and Nick Gage match was gross. Did you guys watch that at all? Jericho and Nick Cage?
I have not. No.
Absolutely.
Wait, Nick Cage is in
the Nick Cage from Deathmatch that cut open Nick Gage.
Oh no,
I'm sorry.
Nick
Gage. The death
I was like,
match.
Nicolas Cage, the actor?
No.
I should have known about this.
The talentless hat. It's a GCW wrestler or whatever. All he does is like hit people with light bulbs and piece of cutter. And
well, he was the dude from the show we watched.
He's the guy that nearly killed David Arquette.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
he's the guy that.
I remember that. That sucks.
He's a total piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, I mean, honestly, like a good amount of it is not for me, but it's like because it's partially, the Japanese wrestling, so that it's not all that.
Right.
It's not my cup of tea.
Well, the thing with me, like AEW is starting to feel like they're letting the inmate run the asylum now at this point. I don't think Tony Khan has control of anything anymore. I
feel so different.
Why would you put that on TV?
I feel so different.
The only reason they probably put it on TV was because Jericho wanted it.
Right. I am completely enjoying the Trials of Jericho, the Labors of Jericho. I disagree with you. Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily love that kind of match, and I don't necessarily love, that particular match in a bubble. But I had actually written down under what I've been watching AEW. I think the whole Labors of Jericho thing with MJF is really genius. It's like a good story that's gotten meat. He's had to fight all kinds of different stipulations. He's fighting Wardlow next week with MJF as the ref. It's like, if
anything good coming out of that is they brought Hoon Tooth back for.
Well, I was about to say
episode.
They're doing shit that matters. Yeah. They had Hoovy wrestle Jericho, and they had Jericho have to win with a top rope move. Right. So it's like the Labors of Hercules. They're using like classic literature to create. I don't know, man.
Well, I have no issue with the storyline. I'm just tired of watching all these gory matches, and they have one every single episode. It feels like.
I don't know, man. I used to love 80s wrestling, and it was full of gore. I don't mind it so much. It's like I don't want anybody to get hurt necessarily, but I think there's a place for everything to a degree if it's not overdone. I mean, it's not a match I'm gonna go get into. I'm probably not gonna do a regular wrestling match, and it's not necessarily what I'm gonna go looking for. But it doesn't bother me if something like that is on the card. I believe that one of the greatest things about anything you love is variety, and I think it's cool that AEW is a really good alternative, and they're doing so many different things. I don't mind the fact that they gave this guy. I don't know who he is as a person. Sure, he might be whatever Nick Gage is, but
they had a good episode about him on Dark Side of the Ring.
I saw it. No, I did, and I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's got their space. We can criticize this guy if we want to, but he's made a name for himself. He made it to the main event of AEW, fighting Chris Jericho. So I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
Who is also no angel in my opinion.
I mean,
right.
I have been watching. This is not pro wrestling. I've been watching this anime Hinomaru Sumo, and that's been getting me to watch regular sumo. And there's this like Polish sumo wrestler who is like a quarter of the size of all the other sumos, and he is incredible. He is
nuts.
It's Taka Norayama. I'm not going to pronounce.
That's Polish. That's a Polish name.
Is he young?
I think he's 38.
Oh wow, okay. So he's not super young, but if he was younger,
he's not Polish. He's Czech.
Okay. Yeah. So they can always bring him in the fight show.
That's what I was about to say. Big.
He's only 6'2", but he's my height, but he's only like 220 pounds.
Oh, interesting.
So he's not like but
that's
he's
my
just
size.
He's an insanely good wrestler. He was a judo guy,
and
he won like the bronze medal in 2000 for the Junior World Sumo Championships in Tokyo. He's really, really good, and I don't know. It's not professional wrestling, but it is a form of grappling. And so
what you're telling me right now is that you're scouting.
Oh my God, wouldn't he be incredible? He's only 30. I mean, he's maybe a little past his prime, but
right,
he's
that's
like
what I'm saying.
38 is I mean, I wouldn't say it's that much because nowadays like AJ Styles is 38, but like this guy, I don't know he'd be really entertaining.
I mean, there was John Tenta.
Dude, John Tenta was so good, underrated. Like I feel like John Tenta never got the shout out or like the credit that he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't like when he fought. What was it like Tenryu?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he did fight Tenryu.
And Tenryu tried to like gouge his eyes out, or was it Katao? It was one of the. I don't remember. But he was a sick ass wrestler, dude.
Yeah,
I like
John
Tenta a lot.
Earthquake, for those who may not know it. Song. So are watching what?
Well, I've been watching most of the current product from WWE and AEW, and even some of Impact. I don't know if you guys watch Impact Wrestling at all, but right now they brought in the guy from New Japan, Switchblade played Jay White.
Oh, I know who Jay White is.
Oh yeah, Jay White's cool. Yeah, I like Jay White.
Bullet Club. So they're running a little bit of story like the original Bullet Club and the Elite folks, Omega and the Good Brothers. Yeah. I like Jay White a lot. He's really fun to watch in the ring.
I've heard Impact has got a pretty decent product recently. Like
that's exactly what I've heard as well.
I think if you're looking for pure wrestling, they're the show to watch right now because their production value is not as high as in WWE or AEW. So but their matches are all been solid, and they're telling good stories. Their woman champion is really fun to watch too. If you ever guys have a chance to check it out.
Who is that?
Deanna.
Oh, Deanna Purrazzo.
Yeah. She's also going to be in NWA for a little bit.
Sweet. Well, that's awesome, dude. Where are you watching Impact?
It's on Access TV.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to have access.
Kojo Katao. Koji Katao.
Cool.
Sorry,
no. Yeah, absolutely. Had to get the guy out. That's who Tenta fought, correct?
Yeah, that was the guy who Tenta fought who tried to gouge his eyes out and went and shot on him.
Yeah. The Impact thing, I've also heard the same thing as far as it being like a really solid show to pick up. I also heard that you could co-stream with them on Twitch, but they just stopped their streaming or something because they monetized. That's according to the fine people over at Going in Raw podcast.
Yeah, they kind of like, it looked like they took most of their content off of YouTube also. Because you used to be able to if you miss an episode, you used to be able to just catch some highlights on there, but I think they've taken that off now.
So as I was mentioning before, I've been watching a lot of AEW. I've been watching recently. Same as you, current product. I feel like it's got a lot of buzz right now. I feel like it's frenetic. I feel like all of these releases from WWE that we'll get into in just a little bit are creating additional buzz. I think that they are proving that they know how to book people or they know how to allow people to have a little creative control. They're not doing everything right, but they're creating a really fun space to be in. Of course, they've announced a Chicago show, which has a lot of buzz for reasons we'll get into very soon.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Right. And as I mentioned before, the Labors of Jericho has been fun to watch. MJF is a great heel.
Well, Jericho just recently tweeted that AEW is the place to be for talents right now because of creative control that they have.
Yes, I did actually see that today. He was mentioning something. It was kind of like a little blast to WWE.
Yeah, saying, taking a shot at WWE every chance he gets now, it seems like.
Yeah, didn't he say something like, not only is it the place for fans, but apparently it's the place for wrestlers too? Yeah. Yeah. And so also been watching NXT.
Vince has been blowing it.
No doubt. Definitely some questionable decisions have been made recently. Let's put it that way. So I've been watching NXT. I think the most memorable thing for me right now going on in NXT that I'm enjoying is like the whole LA Knight and Cameron Grimes thing with Ted DiBiase. I think that's been great. I'm enjoying that.
Did you see the little golf promo that they did
with GYV, the Grizzly Young Veterans?
That was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
That was fun.
What is 9 and tapped good old LA Knight and the LA Nuts.
Then he blamed them on the Grizzly Young Veterans.
Yeah, blamed it on
you, Mr. Knight. Look what they did to you.
Yeah, that shit was really good. Hit Row has been really cool. Legado del Fantasma.
Yes, of course.
Exactly.
That's a bar crew.
That's good. Right? Yep. Hit Row versus those guys has been really fun to watch. What else on NXT? Okay, can we talk a minute about Karrion Kross getting jobbed the fuck out?
I saw that.
Can I just say something about Kross?
Say whatever you want about him.
He's boring.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this before. You take away his entrance, you take away Scarlett, and he's a job.
He's to me, he has an awesome Randy Orton-ish look, and it's all about booking, man. And you cannot.
It's dumb. He looks like Big Cass without the height.
Oh shit, I didn't even think of that, but that's kind of true. But the thing about it is, and it's a point that I've heard made other places, is if you watch NXT and you see him come out with the Fog and his manager and all of that cool ass entrance that he has in NXT, right? And then you see him come out on the main roster, and then he's got none of that. Unless you've never seen him before.
That's NXT though. That's NXT. That is the curse of NXT.
Well, it is the curse of NXT, but it's not NXT's
huge in
fault.
NXT.
Yeah, it's basically that there's no connection. There's no plan. They don't talk to each other. It doesn't seem like, right? There's no way.
It's like you may be the best college athlete, but there's no transition if you don't have a good team working with you to transition into the pros. And so it feels like they don't have there's a disconnect. There's no team working with them to make sure that they have all the things things that they need. Like, it's like, well, if you could afford it in NXT, what's the difference with doing it in Raw? And they're like, well, it's not on the Raw budget, pal.
Well, I don't think they know what they want to do with him on Raw though, because they had him lose to Hardy like really quick, and then
Hardy got COVID.
Yeah, and then next week he beat Keith Lee, and then the week after that Keith Lee beat him. Like, yeah, they don't know what to do with him on the main roster. I don't know why. Why is he on Raw right now?
Well, supposedly, from what I've heard, the story is that he's supposed to job out a couple of matches, but then he's supposed to get his what's his manager's name? I forget. Scarlett. Yeah. Scarlett. But yeah. So I mean, in a nutshell, like I guess what it is from what I've heard, the story is he's going to come out with her, and that's going to make all the difference in the world once he gains this stuff back. But once you've jobbed him out twice, now you make the whole brand look completely weak.
Yeah, he just jobbed out their champion. Yeah,
exactly. Guys, chat me up about this. Now, tell me, do you think that the Scarlet is the only reason that he's popular?
No, is he popular though?
Yeah, that's true. That's a better question. Song is he really popular?
Is he popular? I mean, there's been no crowd to gauge like during his rise in NXT. We haven't gotten crowd, So I don't know.
He doesn't strike me as like a cool heel either. He strikes me as like a heel you're supposed to hate. So I don't even think you're supposed to. He's like supposed to be.
I just don't see it in him. He doesn't have he's got like a much better body than I do. But in terms of like, he's not a body guy. Like I don't know. I mean, he's big, but he's not as big as like he should. Like, he's not big enough to be a threat.
Right. I think he's like what Roman Reigns called John Cena, just missionary sex every single night. He's Mr. Missionary. That's it.
You think so? I mean, I think he's got potential.
He kind of looks like Damien Demento.
Oh wow!
To bring it back to our current product.
Right. So to me, he kind of looks like a serial killer, like in that way, or like an ex-convict, like Nails. Like if they had Nails 2021, it would be him. It plays it. He'd be in an orange.
You abused me for years, boss man.
So who's the heel?
And I'm an innocent.
Who was the heel and who was the face in this?
Oh, I mean, in the boss man the Nails thing. I mean, in my opinion, first of all, anybody who is incarcerated, free all my prisoners, all my brothers in lockdown. No one's free till we're all free. But in terms of like, I mean, Nails was like, if his go-to move wasn't the choke, he would have been a face, in my opinion, because he was an abused convict who claims innocence. And Boss Man is like, I mean, look, he is like this. I mean, like he's a chubbier Southern, like, and I'm as both of those things. I'm a fat Southerner, so as a fat Southerner. I'm like, oh, he looks like a crooked cop. And I'm like, I feel like I can identify with other fat Southern crooked cops. And so, like, to hear Nails say, I'm not one, but as like, you know how like white trash can identify white trash? Well, it's a similar thing.
I don't know.
Well, Jeremiah knows what I'm talking about.
I do, yes.
What is
I am from Georgia.
What is the equivalent for you, Song?
Of white trash?
Like, is there like a thing that you guys consider trashy? And like, is there people who do the thing that like so as a white trash person?
Like Asian people, they're kind of, I guess, like the darker skinned Asian are kind of treated as like lower class than the lighter skinned Asian. So,
and that's just crazy to me.
Maybe colorism. Folks like me. Yeah.
Colorism is a thing. It's not my place to discuss because like
I might be yellow trash then.
Oh yeah,
that should be your new. That should be your new like.
That's my new gimmick.
That should be your new gimmick.
Oh, that would be like just super player.
So fucking
like
dope.
All the semi-negative stereotypes of your culture.
I can see the vignettes right now. You're gonna step out of like a trailer park. You're like a trailer park, like a mobile home. It's gonna be awesome. Right. It's gonna be your new gimmick. It's gonna be like Mr. Perfect vignettes, except in a trailer park.
They have the what's that? Jimmy Wang Yang.
Jimmy Wang Yang.
Asian redneck. All right, guys, let's switch gears a little bit, and because there's tons of news to get through. I'll let you go first, Song. What's up with some news?
Brought up NXT. You're watching NXT, and would you know it? Been more released from the WWE, and this time it's mostly all NXT folks. Some pretty big names too. Some like names that I did not expect. I'll list them out for you guys right here. You got Bronson Reed, Bobby Fish, Leon Ruff, Tyler Ruff, Jake Atlas, Mercedes Martinez, Asher Hale, Giant Sanjir, Zachariah Smith, Kona Reeves. Out of those names, the first two jumped out at me. Like Bronson Reed
I can't believe they let go of Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish and Bronson Reed. I mean, Bronson Reed had been getting some traction. He was just recently the North American champion, so I don't know what that's all about. And then Bobby Fish, he was just on, like he was on Tuesday.
Exactly, he was fighting Roderick Strong of the Diamond Mine.
Yeah, crazy,
Tyler Rust as well, also in Diamond Mine, right?
Yeah. So that's right.
And that's what's tripping me out is that it used to be you'd get these like waves of releases, right? But it would be like people that they're not using anymore. But recently, it's like you've got people like you said, Bronson Reed, Bobby Fish, maybe not so much Leon Ruff in the last few episodes, but before he's a former not that long ago, he was North American champion.
It could have been a good 4-star match with Isaiah Swerve, I thought.
Right.
Like not that long ago.
Yeah. So what are they going to do with the Diamond Mine now? Tyler Rust is, they just formed that stable and they're just going to drop him out of the equation. Or are they going to put somebody in his place? Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez also, they're not like every week guys, but they're definitely.
Martinez just had a title shot against Gonzalez. So I don't know what that's all about.
And it's always confusing when you see somebody like WWE doesn't. I don't know who Giant Sanjir was really. I think I've seen a picture or two of him, but why are you?
I think you used one of those kind of signed guys that they signed and. Yeah.
Well, they were hoarding talents for a while to avoid giving them the competition, I think, and now they're just releasing everybody. And this is like according to WrestlingInc.com, this isn't going to be the last round either. There's more release coming, and they're coming in waves.
Right, and so, but right before the NXT releases, also the big news that has like everybody talking, of course, is Bray Wyatt's release. You know that shit's crazy. Like
now,
you've got
with his release, we don't know if he asked for it yet, right?
We don't know. He's broken his silence on it. I don't think I've read that article yet. I really do want to check into it more, but I don't think he asked for his release as far as I know. I haven't read up on it or anything like that. I know that I've read some stuff about Sean Waltman thinking that there's more to the story. You know what I'm saying? That there has to be more to it because I mean, dude, that was like everybody
with Lexi Bliss now. I wonder.
I mean, did you notice as soon as he was gone the next week, her makeup wasn't the same? She wasn't as Bray Wyatt-y. They're kind of like, I guess, scrubbing that away from her. They're still doing the whole
well, did you see? I noticed that too. But did you see like Ronda Rousey had to put her 2 cents in it also?
Oh no, I did not.
Tweeted out about that. She said something. She basically blamed the fans themselves about it because she said like, well, when Bray Wyatt was doing Bray Wyatt, you were cheering. You weren't rooting for him, and now you're cheering for him to be back. Something like that.
What?
I can't. Yeah.
Ronda Rousey sucks.
Well, she never understood the business at all.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Unless this is a heel return, because
she's still
signed, isn't she?
Huh?
Isn't she still signed?
Oh, I don't know.
I would think that she's a suitor.
I was literally, when all these releases were coming, I was thinking, I was like, man, why haven't they released somebody stupid like Ronda Rousey?
She's probably got. Well, I don't know if they're paying her right now or anything, but
I
you would imagine if they are going to pay her, it's going to be a pretty penny.
Well, I don't understand why she had to say anything at all. It's none of her business,
And of course, there's the rumors going around as well that it's all this weird like amount of getting rid of people, but not only like enhancement talent, but like main puzzle pieces is potential sale too.
Right. Yeah.
I've heard that potentially.
I mean, I've been saying it for weeks that he's going to be selling to NBC. I think he's going to be selling to NBC.
Gotcha. Oh, I found that Ronda Rousey tweet. I'll just read it to you guys.
Where's this from? What's your source?
This is Twitter. Yeah, I went to her Twitter. Oh, okay. It says, I've seen you same fans chanting "We want Bray Wyatt" last night, chanting "We want Beach Ball" over Bray Wyatt performing. If WWE treated him like he was expendable, it was because of you. Ungrateful idiots did it first.
Whoa, dude, that's pretty strong stance. That does sound very heelish, like she's about to come back as a heel. I gotta agree with you, Kyle. Either that or she's just plain stupid. Like because honestly, dude, why would you alienate fan? Like I get it that maybe one time or maybe even 2 times there might have been a situation with a beach ball thing. I remember a beach ball chant. I do remember.
But was that during Wyatt? Though I do remember that. But was
maybe it was, but you can't blame Bray Wyatt's release on one crowd sometime. That's the most
that's the most bullshit thing. That's like being like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, Well, we've been negative with the releases for a bit. Jeremiah, you have any signings you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, no, there's nothing really going on in that department. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, the big giant news that everybody knows about that right now are the two huge rumors, and it's created all the buzz around AEW. Of course, talking the possible signings of CM Punk and.
What you see?
Hey, you know, and supposedly
the Second City Saint, baby.
And you know what, though? I've heard that WWE did not purchase that song in perpetuity, so he may be able to use that song.
Oh, that would be great.
You know, that might be what we hear when he pops out in Chicago. But I mean, guys, obviously, I mean, I feel like that this changes things. If it's true, if the rumors are true, and Daniel Bryan and CM Punk both show up in AEW, is that going to create like a sea change? Is it a needle mover? What does it do? Does it spark another war?
It'll definitely.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I understand what Vince said, where he basically is like, "Hey, we're the only business in town. You know, we're your dad. You know, we're established. When people think of wrestling, they think of us." And he's like, "And nothing's gonna change that." And See, I don't agree with the last part. I agree with everything he says.
Except for the nothing's going to change that.
Except nothing could change that.
Nothing's going to change that.
This could be the start of it. This could be the mega powers, as it were. You know, this could be that moment. You know, we're watching through the old product, and we're seeing kind of, especially with where we're at, you know, the transition from the old guard to the new generation.
Do you guys see it as like when Bischoff signed
Ramon and
Nash?
Diesel?
Yeah, like that.
It very well could be, and that was my next kind of question to you guys: is do you think that these guys should kind of debut each other as like? I actually had the thought, like, what if they debuted each other as like they start off like kind of like in some sort of weird competition over who's getting the most money at signing, you know, or some, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, what if
Punk comes out and then Daniel Bryan interrupts, you know, or like what are they going to do?
I feel like that's also kind of the question is like, how long are these guys planning on performing realistically?
With CM Punk, if he's signed anything, he's probably signing I doubt he's going to be full time. I think if he's signed, he's probably signing for like, you know, part-time work or something like that. I don't know about Daniel Bryan's situation, or maybe he'll bring back the American Dragon gimmick, Bryan Danielson. But yeah, I think with Punk, it's definitely like a part-time move. I think he wants to wrestle, but I don't think he wants to wrestle full-time.
You think that's, you saying Punk or Daniel?
Yeah, with Punk.
You think it's like a long-term deal or like a 3-year deal, or
it could probably like something like a 2 or 3 year deal, and then
he's going back to WWE.
I don't think you will ever see Punk in a WWE ring again. He was
really?
He was really like, everything he's been talking about WWE, he's been really negative about, and you know, he was upset because he was released his wedding day or something like that, right?
That is true.
He's still holding on to that grudge.
Yeah, but you can hold on to a grudge or millions of dollars. That's what always happens.
But he's probably already a millionaire,
right? Of course, but I could just see, like, I don't know, man. I'll take you 20 on that bet, because
I think we've done this bet before. You still haven't paid out yet.
But it's not over. Like, CM Punk's not dead. He could potentially go back to the WWE. So
remember when he walked out on that backstage thing, and then they was like, oh yeah, Renee Young or something, like, was like, we got CM Punk here, and then we found out that deal was between him and Fox, not him and WWE at all. And you're like, oh, we got to see CM Punk in a year or so, and that's like, nah, it's not happening.
Oh, okay. If we have something open, I'm happy to pay up. But this is a different bet.
Oh, you want a new bet?
This is a bet that says when he gets his WWE Hall of Fame ring, he doesn't come back for one more match against Triple H or some shit.
Is he gonna get a WWE Hall of Fame ring?
Only if Vince.
Only if he wrestles that match against Triple H and loses.
Only if Vince sells the product,
or Vince find a way to buy AEW. But I don't think that's happening.
So my question to you guys is, how long after you started hearing these rumors was it that you finally started kind of like believing it? At first, were you skeptical like I was? I mean, every year we hear like CM Punk.
That's kind of what I felt. I was like, okay, sure. I mean, he's probably not, but like, okay, whatever.
But then they announced the Chicago show.
They were like, oh, the Chicago show. And I was like, oh, okay. Well,
maybe Darby Allin called him out, like, well, not by name, but you know what he's talking about when he's saying best in the world
for sure. Yeah. At this point, I mean, we know it's going to happen. And did you also like see that Kenny Omega was wearing a Cookie Monster shirt during his promo on AEW?
Yeah, I don't know what the meaning of that is, so you'll have to fill me in.
What does Cookie Monster start with?
Oh, CM.
Oh.
CM Punk has said before that CM stands for Cookie Monster. Yeah.
Isn't it Chick Magnet?
That's what I thought it was.
He said several different things, but he's also said other things as well.
Yeah, I always thought it was Chick Magnet. That's pretty cool. Man, Omega versus Punk, that burned the house down.
Yeah, that's going to be insane. I mean, well, that's another big piece of the puzzle too, right? With Bryan and Punk is
all the matches, though.
Right, all of the potential matches, right? I mean, I would love to see. There's matches that there's the obvious ones like Omega and Punk, Daniel Bryan and Punk, Daniel Bryan and Omega, the triple threat between Daniel Punk and Omega. You know, all that. Just any of that.
I would love
My
to
favorite
see
wrestler,
Daniel
Punk.
I think Bryan and Christian can put on a really solid match.
Daniel Bryan and Christian.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got a lot of different pieces to work with there, and I mean, AEW is starting to have quite a roster. Additionally, I mean, they've got Malachi Black, whose debut was really fucking good. You know,
yeah.
What do you got, Kyle?
So I watched Money in the Bank, so we're going to talk about that because that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And the most recently important pay-per-view. So coming out of that, we have two first-time Money in the Bank winners with Nikki Cross, which her ASH, her superhero gimmick. Nikki Ash, and then Big E, who I believe, Jeremiah, you called Big E on. That was your prediction?
No, I called Riddle. I think it was. I thought it was going to be Matt Riddle. Was it you, Song, that said Big E?
Someone said Big E.
Who did you think was going to win, Song?
I thought it was Riddle too. But
really?
Remember, I was high at that recording, so I don't remember what I said.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, fair. Maybe no one said Big E.
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like I said Nikki, but who can say?
We could go back and listen.
No, who can say? Who can say? So with Nikki, by the way, crashed at the next Raw against Charlotte, who freshly won her title from Rhea Ripley, who is incredible. I still love Rhea Ripley.
Do you love her on the main roster?
No, but that again, we kind of talk about the curse of NXT. I feel like they don't know how to handle women who aren't one of the four horsewomen.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't know how to handle new women. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I will say that Rhea Ripley's performance on the main roster, it's taken her a while to get her footing and to feel comfortable. I think that at first she seemed really clumsy. I didn't like her character work, and I felt like she seemed really uncomfortable. I'll just put it that way. But I feel like she's gaining her footing now. I think that happens a lot when you do too much too soon for some performers, and I think kind of giving her that title that immediately
too soon.
Yep, it kind of backlash.
I mean, that could be exactly it.
Right, her match with we're talking about Rita, right? Yeah, I remember her match with the Asuka at WrestleMania was kind of weird because I couldn't tell if she was playing face or heel or what she was going for. Right, I still don't know if she's a face or a heel.
Yeah, I think she's face.
She's a tweener.
So I think she's face on Raw right now.
Yeah, I think she's one of those cool faces that doesn't follow the rules and does heel things.
Exactly. And then you've got Nikki Ash. She's supposed to be, or Nikki ASH, which I hate that whole. It doesn't roll off the tongue well.
Hate it.
It doesn't roll off the tongue well, but
yeah, I despise that gimmick too. But whatever. She got gold because of it. So.
Yeah. Well, you got her doing stuff like hitting people in the back of hitting Charlotte with a chair. Is she a superhero or is she a super villain?
It's not a very superhero-like thing.
No, it's not.
And then we have the Usos. They picked up their tag titles, and Roman Reigns retained against Edge. So now the whole family, the whole the
bloodline,
the whole tribe, the whole crew has gold.
Yeah.
Well, the tag titles are silver.
They got silver and gold.
They all have.
I get what you mean.
Precious metals. They all have precious metals.
And then Bobby Lashley, big surprise, dominated Kofi Kingston. I don't know why like that. I mean, like that was just dude. Anybody want to say about that other than like poor Kofi?
No, that's pretty much sums it up as poor Kofi. Like I feel like it just goes to show you like the fans really did have so much to do. That says it fucked up. That's a fucked up way to say it. Kofi Kingston had a tremendous amount to do do with Kofi Kingston's success. But what I'm saying is it goes to show you that fans being vocal about it, forcing that shit to happen, as soon as that buzz is over, as soon as that buzz is over, they go right back to treating Kofi the way that they treated him most of his well, I don't even say most of his career, because he's had a great career with the New Day, but like pre-New Day Kofi, it's like they're starting to job him out, at least
all of
the
his singles career.
His singles career, exactly. It's like, yeah, exactly. I think you're exactly right, Kyle. You have to kind of put it in a bubble, right? As New Day, top fucking notch, like they've surpassed everybody.
Incredible performer.
Yeah, but as a singles performer, outside of the fact that Kofi's dedication to WWE and pro wrestling over the years created a situation in which the fans refused to let him not get recognition that time. But now that that's over with, fuck Kofi.
Yeah,
we'll job him out.
It's kind of like Ricky Morton's not gonna win the world champ, win the world title, but everybody loves him, and he sure as hell gonna win the tag title.
Yeah,
poor Kofi. And then finally, boom, 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 boom. Whoop, boop, ba-da-da-da-da, boop, ba-da-da, boop, ba-da-da, boop, ba-da-da, boop. John Cena's back, baby. Hustle, loyalty, respect. The greatest wrestler of all time has returned to begin his SummerSlam program with Mr. Roman Reigns.
The greatest wrestler of all time.
That's right. I said it. I said it.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, I mean, we knew, SummerSlam's coming around. John Cena's back just in time for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, gotta promote the movie, baby. Gotta promote the movie.
Exactly, which was hilarious, which, by the way...
I've heard it's very good.
I'm going to watch it today. It's on HBO Max. I'm going to watch it today. I'll let you know. But what was crazy is I was watching AEW, and I thought it was kind of hilarious that they're advertising Suicide Squad on AEW. I was like, yeah, John Cena's getting in there somehow. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do we know for a fact that John Cena is jobbing out to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, or is this going to be his 17th?
I think the right thing to do is job him out, but the WWF normally don't do the right thing.
I would love it if Roman Reigns retired John Cena. How great would that be?
I thought Bray Wyatt did that.
We thought so.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's too strong. Super Cena returns. He was reinvigorated by the power of Hollywood.
Yeah, by the power
and all
DC Comics.
Yeah, by the power of DC Comics and all the adrenochrome in Hollywood. He was just Super Cena has returned. I feel like him and Roman Reigns have had some barn burners before. I like Cena. I think he delivers.
No, I agree. I'm happy to see him at SummerSlam.
I like him.
He belongs there. I don't think he should win his 17th. I think that needs to be super fucking special. I don't know what it needs to be right now. We could fantasy book that later if you want, but I do think that right now Roman needs to have this title for like 2 to 3 years.
He's closing in on a year now.
Right. And I think we need another like Hogan-esque run. It's been a while. Who was the last? Like Brock and CM Punk kind of maybe?
Yeah, I think Punk had a record reign.
Yeah. Punk had one, and I know Brock's after Punk's was kind of long, a little over a year or something. I would love to see that. Song, what's up?
Oh yeah, SmackDown. Sasha Banks is back. She came back a couple weeks ago to save Bianca from a beatdown by Zelina and Carmella, which is laughable to think those two can beat back Bianca.
Yeah.
But then she pulled a big show and turned heel the same show. Came back into the face, and then
because Bayley's a heel, she has to be a heel,
right? But she got a huge pop. I don't know what it is about. It seems like after WrestleMania, she takes 4 months off all the time.
Yeah, dude.
She doesn't want to be with the company anymore. I'm calling it. She has absolutely no interest.
It's 100% Sasha Banks is AEW head bound.
I know the first time she was upset because
so.
they did book her to lose a tag title that first time. She didn't show up after Mania, but maybe this time she just got some well-deserved time off. But she's back. She seems motivated now.
Sure. She's ready to work. She's ready to make money. But the second the money stops being as much as what it is now, she will jump ship because she, I think, fucking hates the WWE. Even though she loves wrestling, because she's Bayley's a fanboy, but like I feel like Sasha of all of them is like the one that they were just like, look at this fucking nerd. She loved wrestling growing up, and now she's a wrestler.
Right.
And so like,
I don't know. I mean, you might be right. She hates the WWE, but I know she loves wrestling. I mean, she idolized Eddie Guerrero. That's like one of her, and that's been documented like for a while now.
I've written about it multiple times.
Yeah, and every chance she gets, she kind of want to do an Eddie Guerrero move.
That's
frog
true.
Splash, the Three Amigos.
I was going to say she uses
like
the frog splash all the time.
That is very true, Kyle. She is a very much one of those performers that comes for a like a program with somebody and then disappears.
Yep.
But it's kind of like Bray Wyatt, and look where he is now.
Yep.
Right? We don't know.
I bet he's. I mean, we know where he's.
We know where he's headed.
We know.
AW bound. Do you think he?
I think if AEW has any sense, they'll fucking give him and Braun Strowman a contract. Let them form the fucking new whatever he wants to call it, whatever it is. Let him be that, but like PG, maybe no R, because like I feel like make him a real fucking cult leader. Make him what they were doing with
Dark Order.
Dark Order.
Yeah, do like what they were doing with the Dark Order before the tragic loss of
Brody Lee.
Brody Lee. Yeah, and do that. I think that would be. I mean, obviously everybody's like, oh, just don't do the same thing that WWE is doing, but like the fucking Wyatt family was awesome.
The Wyatt family was great, and
they were one of the best things. And like Bray is jacked now, y'all. Like he is so huge. He can fucking work. Let him do just weird dark shit.
Can you imagine like him
and then
with
put
freedom
Braun as his fucking muscle? Because Braun just like I follow him on Instagram and he posts just the dumbest shit, but I love him. Like he went swimming with tigers not too long ago, and I'm like, I thought we all kind of agreed after Tiger King.
We weren't going to do that.
Yeah, we weren't doing that anyway. All right, continue, please.
All right, yeah. So obviously, we probably got a SummerSlam feud coming up with.
Yeah,
is that match already? Is that match already signed?
It is. It was made last. Official? Well, the challenge was accepted last night. So yep.
Yeah, I haven't even seen this SmackDown yet. I need to check it out. Lastly, in the news, of course, as it usually is with professional wrestling, you can't go too long without a bit of sad news, and this episode is no different. A legend, absolute legend of professional wrestling, who one of those guys that you probably haven't thought of for years unless you happen upon one of his matches, but once you hear the news, at least me as an older wrestling fan, I remember some really great matches with beautiful Bobby Eaton. Passed away at 62 years old. Our thoughts
too soon.
Yeah, our thoughts go out to his friends and family in the wrestling community and everywhere. He's all of his friends and family. Of course, former Midnight Express. Loved him in the Dangerous Alliance.
Greatest Midnight Express, greatest tag team of all time.
I love Midnight Express. Involved in one of the most iconic matches in history against the Road Warriors on the scaffold. What was it, Chi-Town? Yep, absolutely. Just one of the most iconic matches. Beautiful Bobby, you will be missed. He was a genius, man. You were showing off that picture of him versus Flair. That match that happened. It was like a random WCW, wasn't it? That match happened on. Yeah. If I remember correctly, I remember that match from being a kid, like being a young teenager.
Well, it's funny. My introduction to Bobby Eaton was through in like the early '90s was when he was with the York Foundation, and he was Earl Robert York.
That's right.
And I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? But like he, as an adult and as somebody who kind of came into wrestling again, I of course, I've said many times that I love listening to Jim Cornette, despite whatever he
outrageous things he does,
whatever he does or says. But he managed the Midnight, and he has such incredible stories with them. Their matches, Bobby was the definition of a worker, of a man who could you go out and if you said, Bobby, we need to run for 40 minutes, he would take you fucking 60 minutes Broadway. He is the kind of performer who lived the life, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, like not to say that a lot of the wrestlers these days don't live the life, but I mean, Bobby Eaton was a carny in the best way.
No, yeah,
he was part of the old school. He was an old school guy, for better, for worse. From stories too, he was kind of a tough guy. He was one of those guys that family man, a super family man. Not like Sweet Stan Lane, not so much, but
yeah. And I've got 2 points to make that I just realized as well. Number one, we can't minimize one of the greatest mullets in all of professional wrestling. Party in the front, party in the back, business in the front. One of the best, like bleached
just
blonde,
a bouffant of hair, man. Like
beautiful. And additionally, wasn't he also the guy that the It's Not Fake to Me was aimed at? It's not.
It was, I believe. Yes,
yeah.
I believe it was.
So that piece of beautiful wrestling history, and if you've never seen that,
because I mean, like, I get it. Like, I get that guy. Like, as I get older, I really do get that guy, because it's like like for a certain generation of men, and I'm on the very cusp of that.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Southern wrestling was a thing that was like it was
it's like Pentecostal church.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like Jesus and wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Pentecostal church of wrestling.
It was like watching real life superheroes, and so like it, like, for me, that's why I love the old stuff, and I tolerate some of the new stuff. So I absolutely raise my glass to Earl Robert Eaton.
Yeah, so that's a good
fine
point.
Fellow.
Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and toast. So we're going to toast to obviously Bobby Eaton's passing. Thank you, beautiful Bobby, for all of the fantastic matches that you've given us over the years. You will be missed. So a toast to you. I also want to toast to the tremendous buzz that AEW is putting forth these days. The fact that we now have competition to the Fed. Let's go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Toast, raise a glass to beautiful Bobby.
Absolutely. What are we drinking today, boys?
Go ahead, son. What are you drinking on?
I got Bullet Rye and ginger ale.
You fixed a margarita, right?
I did. I've got some sort of fancy tequila that my wife bought, and margarita mix, and a little bit of grenadine, because of course the margarita mix isn't sweet enough. But as I'm sure the listeners can tell, they're like, "Oh wow, Kyle's probably already had a few."
I
haven't. I'm fine. Whatever. Don't judge me. You're not my mom.
I'm still sipping on the Three Crosses that Song got me for my birthday.
Tennessee whiskey.
Good old whiskey, buddy. All right. Well, that kind of finalizes our news for the day. That means that can only mean one thing, guys. It's time to hop in the time machine and jump back to March 22nd. Exactly. Thank you for that.
It's not copyrighted. I did just a short enough version of it. That
we're gonna, if we had any listeners, we'd be demonetized. But
no. Kevin is still listening.
Yes, Kevin. If you have any friends, make them listen to us.
Ask Song to listen, Kevin.
Yeah. So we're hopping back. We're going to March 22nd, 1993, to the episode of Monday Night Raw right before WrestleMania, guys. That means we're watching Mania 9.
It's Caesar's Palace.
Are we wearing togas while we watch this? I'm gonna make a laurel and a toga, and we're gonna wear it.
I'm down.
I'm down as well. All right. So this Raw opens up with the first match. Some of our favorite tag teams in history, the Bushwhackers and Damien.
So I have a question. Quick question. Did you guys not, in your version, because you guys are watching it on the network, did you not have the 15-minute promotion of the Michael Landon Foundation?
We did not. No.
I did not see that.
God, you guys! It is easily and okay. So this is what I get for bootlegging, but it is easily 12 minutes, 11, 10 minutes, 10 minutes of this promotion for the Michael Landon Foundation, which is to fight leukemia. And Hulk Hogan's there. He does a promo and a speech. Vince does a speech, and it was fucking miserable.
Was it?
Wow.
I remember
Glad we missed them.
Previous episode.
Hogan makes
talking about that.
Hogan makes it. Man, I'll tell you, this is the one part about watching the bootlegs though that makes it interesting for our audiences, because I get a slightly different version. Hogan makes a pretty funny joke about how there wasn't enough food at the gala, and so if anybody has any leftovers, to send it to the wrestling table with all the other WWF superstars.
Nice.
He talks about how he had a fan who died, which I believe is on the Hulk Hogan, one of his musical albums. He wrote a song about it.
Oh, really?
He had a young fan that died of cancer. He seemed, it seemed, I felt like I was seeing Terry, not just Hulk. But I mean, for fucking 10 minutes, it felt very much like the original program.
Wow.
Or like a current day program.
You just used 10 minutes to promote that. So.
Well, yeah. Well, look, that doesn't change the fact that the Michael Landon Foundation is one of the premier celebrity foundations that's fighting for leukemia and leukemia rights.
I do remember during one of our previous episodes that they had mentioned that was going to happen, but luckily we did not have to see it on the network.
Wow.
But I kind of wouldn't mind seeing it.
But also I'm not paying them
I
that
probably
money.
wouldn't mind it, but
I wouldn't mind seeing it. Oh yeah. So yeah, the show.
Yeah.
So the show opens with the Bushwhackers versus Damien, Demento, and Repo Man.
Garbage.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's the Bushwhackers. First of all, how many times do we know that Damien, Demento, and Repo Man team together? Maybe this only time, probably.
I believe this is the only time.
I would think so. Probably on a house show somewhere, but I did think it was hilarious when Demento and Butch kept shoulder blocking each other, and each time they both fell down. I thought it was like really hilarious. Did you guys notice that? Like
did you guys?
Yeah, I didn't know.
In your version, did you have the long intro where basically the Bushwhackers started out in the balcony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. They
were coming
did
out
you
like
also
the
think that was unnecessary?
Well, we had a commercial break between their entrance and the match start because I guess they couldn't find their way down.
Right.
Maybe?
So yeah, I'm guessing. I mean, unnecessary, yes, but let's not forget that what we're doing here is we're pushing the Bushwhackers as ultimate babyface. So they want to show the television audience that the Bushwhackers are up in the balconies hanging out with fans. So that's probably what that's for.
Yeah, they were licking fans,
licking folks.
Can you imagine that? Like this day and age, that
just
happening?
Fucking.
And
they're
that's
hoping
hilarious.
With the Raw girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Bartlett messed up and still can't get the fucking uncooked whatever. I can't get it right either. So I would have.
Uncooked, uncensored, and raw.
Because didn't Macho Man? He said something that was just like unnecessary, or it was not one of the things.
So the Bushwhackers win this match with a battering ram when one of the Bushwhackers pins Repo Man. Yeah, of course, man. Of course, Demento and Repo, definite disadvantage here, not being an established tag team. I meant to ask you this
how
question.
weak is that battling ram? It's just like you take your partner's head, run it through the guy. It's such a weak move.
Yeah, but it's just like a comedy move. It's like almost like a precursor to Santino Marella's
Cobra.
Exactly. It's the same concept. For me, also, did you guys ever really realize how, or as kids, like who was Butch and who was Luke? Because I didn't know who was
Is there
who.
a difference?
There is a difference.
I still don't know.
They do have two separate identities, and it's not what I thought it was. I thought the Butch was the uglier of the two because it sounds like the uglier name. So I was like, the prettier one's got to be Luke, but it's the opposite.
No,
and I know they're both. They're both pretty ugly, but if you look at two, there's definitely one that looked way more.
So wait, you're like, which is actually sexy one?
Yeah, he is the sexy one. If I was gonna have to do one of the Bushwhackers,
if you were gonna have to be licked by one of the Bushwhackers, if they would have to whack your bush,
if they had to whack my bush, I would
How
go.
Does this even pop in your head?
I thought it would be.
Listen,
man.
This judgment.
I'm
not gonna yuck any yums.
This is called. This is called content.
This
is called content. Song.
All I do is judge.
That's true. That's the babysitter's job.
Anyway, now that I feel weird talking about Bush and Luke.
No, I mean I think it's a perfect transition into, in my opinion, the real star of the night,
Reno Riggins.
Neil Hargrove, aka Reno Riggins. Yes, the real fucking star of this show. Thank God we finally gotten to him. As you guys know, he's an American wrestler from the Southeastern Independent Promotions. He was in the NWA in the 90s. He was trained by Tojo Yamamoto before his death in 1992. He debuted in 1988. He's still alive. He lives in Nashville.
Didn't you earlier say he died?
Just say just died.
Tojo Yamamoto died.
Oh.
I was like, dude, Kyle, your research sucks because you just said he died and is alive in the same sentence.
No. Tojo Yamamoto died.
His trainer died.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. He, so he was trained by them. He wrestled in the WWF as Reno Riggins and was, mostly a jobber. He would lose to
Tatanka,
Rogers, Tatanka, Brian Christopher. Actually, he won the USWA Southern Championship from Brian Christopher in 1992.
Oh wow, this guy's an ex-champion.
Yeah, he also did Smoky Mountain Wrestling in '93. He is a journeyman. He began teaming with Steve Dunn as the Tennessee Volunteers, and he just in general he appeared in the Brian Pillman Memorial Show in 1998. He is legitimately a journeyman wrestler. He won the CWF Tag Champions with Kroll the Deathstalker. He won the Music City Wrestling's Tag Champions with Steve Dunn. He won the NWA Tag Champs with Steve Dunn and the NWA North American Tag Team Champs with Steve Dunn. He won the NWA North American Tag Teams twice with Steve Dunn in NWA at Nashville. And then he won the USWA USWA Southern Heavyweight Championship. So, I mean, this guy is more than your typical jobber. He is pretty awesome.
And how good must Tatanka be to have destroyed this dude in pretty much a minute? So Tatanka, he hits a nice back body drop followed by the longest arm bar in history. Tatanka wins with a Samoan drop. I did note here though that I appreciated the heelishness of Reno Riggins.
I loved that's the thing. He worked as a heel. He used the full Nelson.
Yeah.
Or the sleeper hold and he exchanged chops. I thought that was a good bit when they exchanged chops. Overall, fantastic jobber. Did what he needs to. He worked himself as a heel in this, got Tatanka over. For the Tatanka fans, he's just another one in Tatanka's continual winning streak. But to me, he's the star of the night.
Yeah, he beat Brian Christopher, right? Lawler's kid.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of what you find with a lot of these jobbers is that when it comes to regional wrestling, they've made a name. They've made a name for themselves. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things.
At the grand scheme of things, in the WWE, which is what we're talking about here on the show, Tatanka destroyed Reno Riggins.
Yeah. R.I.P. Reno Riggins' career. But I thought he was great.
So
great look, too. Did you guys notice those trunks? They were kind of cheetah print because Reno.
I
thought great.
I did not see his tights. I probably did see his tights, but I don't remember them. So after that match, Vince tells us that WWE announced the opening of the WWE Hall of Fame. Now we know, of course, as an institution. They actually cut to a touching piano tribute of Andre the Giant.
That was a great montage.
So good, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even back then, they fucking could nail it.
That's the thing about WWE, man. They can edit things together. It just hits you in the field,
Yeah.
Crazy. They've always been really great at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree completely.
And I think it was one of those things is kind of again, just like when they mentioned on a Raw a few episodes ago that we were talking about when Andre died or Andre passed away. This kind of caught me off guard, and I was just like, yeah, wow, it was a really touching tribute. And it was really cool to see the beginning of the Hall of Fame kind of as well, and just kind of what it's become compared to what it's become now. Seeing its kind of humble beginnings or whatever.
Well, this was kind of the beginnings of that kind of Ernie Ladd, Freddie Blassie kind of promo.
Time frame.
I cheer for them kind of time frame. And that thing, I can still watch that and get chills. There's still times where I'm, oh wow, these guys, because when you think about it, they really do give a lot.
I know.
For their art and that
their whole family life.
Everybody. Yeah, you're right. Not just them, but their families give a lot. Yeah. That's something to kind of be admired in my mind.
I agree. I do want to remind you though that as special as this Andre the Giant tribute into the Hall of Fame was, I do want to remind you that now the Bushwhackers are in the Hall of Fame. The guys that opened the show, the Bushwhackers are right there next to Andre.
In terms of what they've done for wrestling as a entertainment thing, when I was a kid, I loved the Bushwhackers because they would be on Family Matters or they would be on,
Did you love them as a kid?
Other.
I didn't
love them, but I
could.
Yeah, I was going to say I could recognize.
They're iconic.
Non-wrestling fan would know who the Bushwhackers because of what Hal said. They show up on TV shows, and they were a good, I guess, ambassador for the company.
I guess you're right, man. I guess I have a different.
Imagine them as the sheep herders then.
Yeah,
I
can see that.
Hardcore fucking, badass guys. I will say, in terms of the Hall of Fame, I would love it if there were. I mean, it can't be, right, because it is the WWF Hall of Fame. It is not the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But WWF do own a lot of other properties, though. So
I would just like it more if it was less of a, well, we don't like this person, so they can't
go in. I think it should be up to somebody to vote.
I just feel like it should be outside of there. But then again, you may risk things like trolls on the internet being like, Benoit gets to be in the Hall of Fame,
right? Slippery slope there, huh?
Yeah. OJ Simpson's in the Hall of Fame.
Who?
OJ Simpson's in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he was innocent, so
yeah, this is proven.
Oh my God.
So next, Bartlett's
also Bartlett is killing it. I am full team Bartlett at this point.
Are you?
I've been Bartlett pilled. I'm full Bartlett pilled.
So Bartlett lets us know that Jason, Billy, and Kevin from One Life to Live are in the crowd.
No clue who they are.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. I know what One Life to Live is. It's a soap opera from back in the day that my folks used to watch.
You watched it all the time.
I was too young, man. I would never watch that. Not my type of thing. But I do know that one of them was wearing a Bret the Hitman Hart glasses. So I'm team One Life to Live.
Dude,
so.
Speaking of Bret Hart, The Rock's out promoting his movie Jungle Cruise.
Yes, I heard.
Oh yeah, I watched that. It's pretty good. It's basically The Mummy and Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's
Yeah. But he did an interview for Screen Rant, and the interviewer had a Hitman shirt, similar to what you had, Jeremiah. Had a Hitman shirt on, right? At the end of the interview, they were about to cut it short, but Rock made sure to let the interviewer know how much Bret Hart did for his career when he was coming in as a rookie. I didn't realize they even crossed paths in his career that often,
Mm-hmm.
But he said coming in as a rookie, Bret Hart was the one guy that actually gave him real advice and not just try to.
Well, I was going to say Bret was one of those guys
their own spot.
In.
Well, Bret wasn't trying to protect his own spot like the other guys were with this young kid, and Rock him to really respect him for that. I only brought that up as the Bret Hart you were talking about.
Hell
yeah,
dude.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, Bret is one of those guys who does believe a little bit of his own press, but in terms of guys who are in the business who don't seem like shitheads, he seems like one of them.
I would love, we'll get into that later. I would love to be able to sit down and talk to Bret for a while. Next match, Money Incorporated versus Scott Rich and Jeff Armstrong. IRS wins another short match with a flying lariat. I don't know which guy is which, but the jobber with the interesting haircut gave me the best idea for a punishment. So, no?
I believe that's Johnny Rich.
The loser has to cut their hair like any Raw wrestler the winner sees on these classic Raws.
I'm going to do like Bob Backlund and do a bowl cut.
You're not down with this song?
I don't like messing with my hair
because that's your
hair's off limit. Hair's off limit for me.
Damn.
Here's the money for him.
So you would never do a hair versus hair match song?
No.
Damn it!
If I was a wrestler, that's the one stipulation.
That is my goal. Is for us to do a hair versus hair match now song. We have to work that in. You realize that that's it. That is the stakes. That is
when he says hair versus hair, he means
pubes,
eyebrows, everything. You gotta look like you have alopecia.
Oh no! Oh
damn! So song
your kids are gonna be like, "What's wrong with Dad?" And your wife's just gonna be like, "I'm embarrassed of your father." Not because he lost, but because he actually agreed to do this.
He went through with it. So look, man. That's not that wouldn't be the ultimate though, dude. So since that's your stakes, you need to find out what's mine. No, I can't do that, and that needs to be what it is. Hair, either
snake in the pants. You would put a snake in your pants
before I would put some other things in my. Yeah, there's.
All right. Well, never mind then.
He's like, I rest my case. I'm comfortable with snake anyway. So yeah, Money Inc. This is a short match between Money Inc. and the jobbers Scott Rich and Jeff Armstrong. IRS, like I said, he wins with a flying lariat. Again, it's kind of crazy how all of these matches end with the easiest moves. They're not even finishers. I don't remember that. It's I don't remember the time.
Finishers don't get really introduced too much until the new generation.
Well, Hogan always had a leg drop, right? And that was
that's true.
finisher.
I mean, big guys, I've always had their finisher. You know, the Doomsday Device, the Flying Elbow from Macho Man, the Perfect Plex. I mean, there are moves that are finishers, absolutely. But the idea of like
maybe everybody didn't have one.
Transition moves in terms of like a lariat is a transition. I mean, first of all, we don't have squash matches anymore. Really,
not too much.
It doesn't exist.
Do you like that? Or are you a fan of like no jobber matches?
I hate that there's no enhancement talent in the sense that they don't bring in unknown jobbers to job, because then it means you job out big names.
They used to just go and like, you know, get the local guy and have him on TV, squash him. They don't do that anymore. I'm with Kyle. I kind of miss that, having a just quick squash match kind of build your star.
I'm kind of halfway there. Like, I think there's a place for more of that, because you do need to have that solid 5-match run when a guy comes in of him just annihilating folks, or else, you know, absolutely. So by that token, I agree with that. But back in the 80s, I think, and even the early 90s, when like Raw first started, and when we were watching as kids in our prime, I did feel like there were too many jobber matches. Like, I wish there were more main event matches during a show. Like where it used to be like a prime time wrestling would have, you know, 4 jobber matches in a main event that was good. I kind of wish it was like halfway, you know? So it's like, I would not want it to go back to where there were no barn burner matches.
In my opinion, this is how a show should be structured. Cruiserweight match, mid-card match, jobber match, tag team match, mid-card match, headline match, or upper mid-card match, headline match. And that's how you do it. And so like it has a place. Like, yeah, you're exactly right. They overdid jobbering matches because it's easy. You don't have to work your talent. You don't have to work 2 names versus 2 names.
So we're on to the main event.
Yes, Tatanka versus Doink.
No. No, you are cut off. You can no longer treat. Tatanka wrestled earlier.
It's Doink versus Kamala.
Yeah, absolutely. Doink, the evil clown, versus Kamala, the Ugandan giant with Slick.
So at this point, Kamala's a face.
Yep, Kamala's a face.
Reverend Slick,
the Reverend Slick. Because what's that song? Jive Soul Bro.
Jive Soul Bro.
Gotta be. Have you never seen that? You never seen that song?
No.
The Jive Soul Bro.
No.
Jive Soul Bro is basically about Slick walking around town and women like making
YouTube
fun of him
it.
and being
YouTube
like,
it.
Yeah, it's
you got to YouTube that.
Peak WWE, not
cheesy
really understanding what black people are.
Oh boy,
that's very true, because it is so racially charged. Anyway, so Doink versus Kamala. Doink distracts Kamala with a rap gift, first of all, to start off the match, right? So
totally fair. If you know Kamala's he's a simple man. He's a simple man. He doesn't suspect. He thinks,
if somebody's handing me a gift, it's legit.
It must be for me.
Yeah. It must be for me. I love this clown. So Doink catches Kamala off guard with leg takedowns and arm bars during this match. So basically, Doink is just wrestling circles around Kamala.
Dude, Doink is so technically sound.
He's so good. I love him. I would not be mad if there was a new Doink. Like, you know how we were talking about before, like legacy wrestlers. It'd be cool if like some wrestling gimmicks got handed down. Yeah. That's prime.
You wanted to see a Doink.
It's still Matt Bourne at this point, correct?
I think so.
I believe so.
God, piece of shit in real life, but man, the man could wrestle.
Absolutely. Kamala does get some offense in during this match with a series
of
chops and kicks until the action spills outside. That's exactly the words I wrote. Chops and kicks. So the action spills outside.
Because the only thing Kamala could do is.
Oh yeah, I acted as though it was amazing. How did he know that I was going to write chops and kicks? But the action spills outside. Doink tricks Kamala with the gift again because again. Kamala. He causes Kamala to get counted out when Doink rolled back into the ring. So, of course, we have an uber satisfying ending to the match. Kamala chases Doink under the ring. Doink comes out the other side. He grabs a chair. This is pre-folding chair era. He grabs like a kitchen table chair. It's like a classroom chair. It's like a classroom or kitchen, like a dining room table chair. It's like antique looking and everything. And he begins smacking the side of the ring where he thinks Kamala is. But Kamala Kamala, he sneaks from under the ring in a different spot, and he attacks Doink from behind, chasing him to the back area. On the way back, some asshole fan grabs Doink's green hair and almost ripped it off of his head, which was hilarious. I thought that was fucking funny. And that you think that would end the show with the main event, but actually,
no.
Come to find out,
of course
not. We go back to commentary, and Vince congratulates Rob Bartlett on being a spam eating winner. He says that these girls behind him are the Rob Bartlett fan club. I have no idea what all this is about, really, but I do wish I did not have to see him make out with any of these girls. I didn't really enjoy watching.
I don't know what the point of that was. Filler. I don't know. The whole episode was pretty forgettable, but I did enjoy Bartlett switching through channels.
Oh yeah, when he was switching through channels. Yeah, which is.
Do you think that part was Bartlett on his own, or because it sounded like he was genuinely mad?
Yeah, it was definitely a work. It had to be a work. I mean, why would he have like an extra monitor, even with like TV channels on it? Right?
There were real shows on though.
So
he was watching real shows.
Real quick for our folks who are watching on bootleg, you guys don't get this, but I got a WWF Mania with Todd Pettengill.
No, we did get that. I think.
Oh, you got that?
No, yeah, I did. I just didn't include it in because I think I included it like the first time I saw one, so I was like,
okay,
it's the same advertisement,
it's the same ad. Okay,
it's the same freaking ad, so I just didn't mention it again. I
wasn't sure if you got guys that.
But no, I did see that again. It's like that Todd Pettengill thing is like, I think he records it live every time, so he's like saying something different, but it's pretty much the same, like boing, like bright, comic book colors, Saturday morning cartoon thing. But it is always cool to see. Like, it reminds me of being a kid when I see Todd Pettengill.
There are two things that I have questions about, both the Rod Bartlett fan club and the Raw girls. Okay, so for the Tatanka match, I believe, or for the Money Inc. match, it was a more conventionally attractive Raw girl. And for the earlier matches, specifically the Bushwhackers, it was one of the members of the Rob Bartlett fan club.
Are they called the Sabatelli sisters? Is that what it is?
I believe that is what they're called. Yes.
Sabatelli sisters, I think. And they were just big fans, I think. If I remember correctly, I think I've looked into this before. But anyway, yeah, those ladies who are in the Bartlett Club, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, were WWF fans, like super fans that they liked and gave airtime to. Is it were just like super fans that kind of had something. I'm going to find out now, and we'll talk about it on a subsequent recording of Pin the Champ. So, guys, overall, what was your thoughts on the show?
Garbage.
Yeah. But we got WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
Road to WrestleMania. I guess that's the thing. It's like, it shocked me how bad it was for a go-home show.
So that's exactly what I wrote. I said, it's obvious to me from this episode that this Raw predated the WWE concept of a go-home show, because they didn't bring anything very compelling to convince me to buy Mania 9. Nope. No cliffhangers or drama, really. We get a main event that ends in a count out. And I mean, as Doink versus Kamala, what did they have to do with Mania 9? You know?
Absolutely nothing.
So yeah, overall, you guys can let us know what was your favorite part of this show. It's all about nostalgia when it comes to these old Raws. You know what I mean? I can't wait till we get into the stuff that I haven't seen, where I was a lapsed fan, but these episodes I still do remember. So having said this, we know what we're going into for Mania 9. We know it's a very campy WrestleMania, but I'm going to enjoy watching it with you guys. Kyle, talk to me, man. I think it's time for us to get to our listeners' questions.
So our good friend and listener Kevin Pearpoint asked if we could pick 5 wrestlers or personalities from wrestling, from any wrestling promo or era, past, present, or alive, to have dinner with to discuss anything you want about wrestling. Who would it be and why? So just real quick, we're going to go over Kevin's answers, and that way everybody can have a little bit of time to think about what their answers will be. Spoiler alert, I'm going to steal a few of Kevin's.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I can already tell you that as well.
He has
a good list.
He has a good list.
Good picks, Kev.
So number 1 would be Ric Flair, because he's Ric Flair. Second would be the rowdy one, Roddy Piper. Kevin, thinks that he's one of his favorite mic personalities, and he's worked with several territories and had some of the best programs. The third would be Macho Man. I'm not going to try to do an impression. If Sawyer were still allowed to be on this show, he would do some sort of impression. It would have been all right, but it wouldn't have been that good. Macho Man, he's his all-time favorite wrestler, and he's had 3 best matches in WrestleMania history. I would say that there are some more modern matches that are equally good or better, but I would agree mostly with that. Corny, Jim Cornette, the grumpy curmudgeon. He's worked with past and present talent, and I would agree with that one. That's a great choice. And then Bobby Heenan as the last choice. He's the best heel manager of all time for Kevin, and really just a fun guy to hang out with. Let's go with who is ready. Who would like to go first?
Well, granted, this is off the top of the head, so I'm just gonna blurt out.
Jer Bear, you're up.
Yeah. So I would be remiss if I didn't put my favorite wrestler Bret Hart at the table, right? Just because I want to hear about all
the best
there was, and the best there
ever will be.
Okay.
Sorry,
I've got to have him at the table because I just want to talk to him about like anything. I want to hear him complain the whole time.
Awesome.
Then same. I got to go with Kevin's point, Flair, because he's Ric Flair. Like I just want to be in the presence of Ric Flair to say that I hung out with Ric Flair, and that
you want to be in the presence of greatness.
Exactly. I don't want to beat the man. I just want to meet the man. And I also agree with Kevin on Bobby Heenan, the absolute greatest of all time. And plus, I just like funny people. And Bobby Heenan is probably one of the funniest human beings. Like he has one of the best comedic timings. He's an absolute genius at what he does. I don't think it ever gets any better than Bobby Heenan. Lastly, I want to bring a little modern flair into it and say the New Day. Just bring the New Day along. I don't care. I think that's 6 actually. If I bring the whole New Day, but screw you, Kevin. I can put an extra one there if I want. And
that's the classic
Freebird rule in it. I'm Freebird ruling.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Freebird ruling it.
Yes.
Putting the New Day right in there. So that's gonna be mine. Because can you imagine, like, even if I was starstruck, the New Day would have my back. They would know exactly. They would keep the conversation going and making it hilarious between Flair and Hart and Heenan. That's it for me. Put me at that round table.
Okay.
Nice.
Song, are you ready or should I go?
Yeah, no, I can go. For me, I think one would have to be Eddie Guerrero.
Nice.
Such a great worker. I love that lie, cheat, and steal gimmick that he was doing in the mid or early 2000s in the WWE. And, the guy just has a mind for the business too. It seems like, at least like from a wrestler standpoint, like the way he put matches together. It seems like he has a wealth of knowledge to share. So I would love to sit down and chat with him. Another one would be Stone Cold, just because he kind of made the anti-hero popular back in the Attitude Era. He was the ultimate in-between guy, like you hate him, you like him, and I want to get into his head how that character came about. So this might be a little bit controversial, but I want us now to have a chat with Chris Benoit.
Damn, I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean,
are you asking for tips, Song, or?
Oh my god!
No, I mean before
you just want to. Do you want to ask him that question?
Why?
What happened?
I don't know if I want to bring that up,
or do you just want to talk wrestling with him?
I'm pretty good at separating the
art from the artist,
performer from the
because you're a psychopath,
person.
Because you have those signs of a legitimate psychopath. I just watched Dr. Death, and I'm pretty sure you're also.
No, I'm not. Well, I could be. Who knows? I might be a sociopath, but not a psychopath. Benoit was, I don't know, back in the old WCW days, he just seemed like a technically sound wrestler. He was like a student of the game, but
I agree.
Like a Daniel Bryan.
He was one of those guys that I always
was like. Intense.
Yeah, he was definitely one of those. I mean, I absolutely get that. I see why you would say that. If we're summoning people back from the dead, I suppose I would. I mean, there are questions that I would like to ask him.
Yeah,
I'm curious to know, everybody, to a certain extent wants to believe that urban legend or that conspiracy theory, I guess is the better word, that that he was murdered and he or that he
was framed.
Framed.
Yeah, that
or that he came home to see
and then killed himself.
Yeah.
We all heard that. I don't know if that's a question. I don't even know if I would go there if I do have an opportunity to sit with him though. But I might just talk quickly wrestling with him. And then number 4 would be I don't know how you guys can leave this out. Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon only eats turkey on
why are you
rye.
so cutthroat? He buys his own shit though, but I would love to chat with Vince. And last but not least, I hate him as a writer so much. Vince Russo.
Oh,
I want
wow.
to know why he's such a big douchebag.
Oh wow!
So, like, do you think?
I would spend the entire table with Russo just putting him down. That's what I would do.
I mean, do you think you would really get anything good out of Vince? Like, he'd probably just talk down to you and ignore you the whole time at the table. I have no idea.
You should have put a caveat that he has to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
But hopefully
That can
it
be
was that. Yeah.
Good picks, man.
And talk about Vince Russo while we're at it. I
Yeah.
would love to sit down with him.
Yeah, I can see the Vince McMahon thing for sure. Now that you say that, why not? Like, get his insight. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah.
Stan Hansen.
Oh my God, that's a good pick. You get to ask him all about like his time with Bob.
Japan,
Yeah.
all the Japan stuff, and I feel like he'd have a pretty interesting and American perspective. I would like to talk to. I would love to just have dinner, like my dinner with Andre. I would love to have my like. We don't even have to fucking talk about wrestling, but we could. I would just like to be like, so what was it like growing up being a fucking
France.
giant?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
in France.
In France, yeah, like,
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Princess Bride.
Definitely
that
would
would
talk
be
about
incredible.
that. I would want to know if he realizes how iconic it is now.
How iconic he is.
Yeah.
I say that Heenan and Cornette would be there because I think we'd need some entertainment, and this is a name because I think he'd be fun to party with. One Mr. Michael Duke Hayes.
Michael Hayes.
I think he would be fun as hell to get drunk with, and he'll start to sing Bad Street USA, and like Michael Hayes. Like at this point in my inebriation, I would like to party right now with Michael Hayes. Like if I could pick anybody to go out drinking with right now, I would go out drinking with Michael Hayes.
I just feel like I don't know Michael Hayes, and I'm not saying anything bad. I just feel like there's a lot of potential for like trouble, like in a way but in a way that like
Michael Hayes would abandon me and like he'd be like, time to go now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
Michael Hayes is not the kind of guy to have your back at a bar, but I'd still like to go out and drink with him.
Exactly. Yeah. Great answers. So that's your whole table, right?
That's my whole table.
Fucking awesome. Kevin, that was a great question. We appreciate it.
Very good question.
Thank you for always responding to us and hitting us up with questions. We love it. Keep it coming. And to any of our other listeners out there,
Kevin's a person I'd like to have at my table. Kevin,
exactly. Absolutely.
Kevin, you're my choice.
Yes. Get some wrestling tights and then you can be at our table. But anyway, Kevin, keep those questions coming. Other than that, this was the Raw right before Mania. It didn't feel like a go home show, but damn it was the go home show. Yep. So next time you're either going to hear us in the audio realm going over WrestleMania 9, the best WrestleMania in history. Anyway, guys, that's it for the show today. I had a fun time with you guys this week. Hopefully we'll be back in person again soon enough. Guys, one more time, we just want to stress to you, get a shot.
Get your shots, guys.
Get a shot.
Please. I will start watching AEW. I'll even watch NXT if you get your fucking shots. Make it so that I can be in person. Make it so that I can like go to movies and go to live events. I will start watching modern wrestling again. I'll stop watching this bootleg shit, but not unless you get your shots.
Everybody, be safe. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. As always, thank you so much for listening. Now we want to hear from you. You can hit us up at pinthechamppodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at pinthechamp123, and our Google Voice number is 804-446-1139. We can't wait to hear from you.